So what's going on, guys? I am on my way back home to Charlotte, North Carolina. I went deep sea fishing today. The video's going to start a little bit backwards just because I didn't know how today was going to go. Well, today's the end of the day. And I cannot tell you, today could have not gone any better than it did today. Today was probably the best day I ever had gone fishing. Because this whole past week, I was talking about two different fish I was going to catch. It was a grouper and a king mackerel. Well, I caught me a bonus tuna, a bonito tuna. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So, man, stay tuned. I'm going to talk a little bit about the boat, talk a little bit about the crew, which I love them. They're great people. Helped me land 3 of my big fish. Couldn't be any better for today. So we're going to go ahead and start yesterday when I first started heading down to the beach to go fishing. And then next weekend, today is August 20th. Next weekend, August 27th, I'm going again. And we're going to make something happen. Because I'm excited to go back out again. Hey Roger! I got a grouper! Alrighty, so it's a little bit later than I was expecting, but took a good nap before I'm about to leave, and I bought some good stuff for the crew. So it's a 5-man crew. I know one of them likes zero sugar Gatorade. The other one likes Miller Lite. And the other 3 likes Diet Coke. So couldn't find any Diet Coke, but I did get some Miller Lite, and I did get some Gatorade, zero sugar Gatorade. So we're about to get on the road here in a minute. Just gotta go get some ice up the Miller Lights, ice up the water in my cooler. And we'll be good to go. So just a quick little overview. I'm bringing my own fishing rods. I've got 2 live well boxes in here, and then I also got a backpack cooler because I fish off the back of the boat. It gets very hot back there, so you got to stay hydrated with a lot of water. So, and I'm gonna be a little extra. I've got all that camera gear I have to bring with me. I'm about to move the cooler to the front because again, it is a 4-hour drive. So I'm not trying to stop every so often to grab a drink or grab a snack. So, but yeah, just gonna get on the road. Alrighty, we have made it to the Crazy Sister Marina, also known as Wicked Tuna. Well, there are 2 different places. Wicked Tuna is the restaurant, but the Crazy Sister Marina is where all the water sports go on. But yeah, we made it. It's 2:45 in the morning. I got my spot saved, but this might be a little cheating, but I saved the spot for someone else. So that way they can come in without having to wait at the back of the line. Because chances are she won't be here until another hour or 2. Well, I made it here. It's now 2:46. Still got about another almost 3 hours left. About 3 hours and 50 minutes left before we get on the boat. Got about another 2 hours before everybody starts showing up. I'm gonna just set my timer for 5 o'clock. Go get some breakfast, then come back. So right now I got a pillow with me, so I'm just gonna take a nap real quick. I'll see you guys when everybody starts coming in and the sun starts coming back up. Alright, so we almost made a mistake. So we started boarding on the boat, getting outside the boat at 6:15. I woke up at 6:15, and by the time I woke up, everybody's at the boat. But we're all good. I'm all settled down. About to head back out to the boat. I just gotta park the truck real quick. And we'll see you guys at the boat. So as you can see, the day's going on pretty smooth. Temperature's a little on the hotter side, but we manage. Waves are low, clear skies. This sunrise looks great though. But any day out of the office go fishing is a great day for me. Alrighty, so we're gonna do a little tour of this boat, and we're gonna start from the front and work our way towards the back. So this boat is roughly 82 foot long, and it can accommodate up to 78 people on its full day. As I make my way into the cabin, as you can see, there's seating on the inside for a good amount of people. Just got the AC running, so it feels amazing in the cabin. Right here, we got the snack bar. We got two of the crew members. You got Chad on the right side and Jiggy on the left side. So as I make my way towards the back of the boat, this is where I go fishing at, and this is where I catch most of my big fish. And as we make our way towards the back, this guy on the right side right here, his name is Roger. He's one of the other crew members. And what he's doing right now is he's cleaning out the squid. And what happens is when they chop up the squid, there's like a bunch of ink that comes out. So to keep everybody's hand clean from the ink, they're washing that before we start using them. And as I make my way up these stairs, you can see there's more seating on the top deck. Well, I recommend being up here early in the morning as the sun's rising, just because you can catch the sunrise. It's cool. There's a nice breeze going on. But after you're done fishing, I recommend being underneath the top deck just because it gets so hot from the sun beating on it. Now, we weren't expecting this storm to hit, but luckily it hit and passed before we actually went fishing, so it wasn't like this all day. So, as we are about to drop this bait in the water, this is actually the first stop of the day. So, nobody's got their line in the water. I just had my bait ready to hook up because I knew we were about to stop. But man, look at the size of the bait that I was using. Now, I do gotta say, this clip was almost 8 minutes long, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and skip to the part where I caught that grouper. I do gotta say though, from the time that I dropped that bait into the water to now, which is probably about 6 minutes after I dropped the bait, that waiting game was a long time because I could feel my bait running, and there was like a bunch of false tugs. As you see, I'm about to do like a quick little test tug to see if the fish was still there. But man, this had to be the most like heart pumping adrenaline I ever felt because I knew the fish was about to bite. So at this point, I messed up. Whenever I stole my fish rods, I actually loosened up the drag. Well, I forgot to tighten up the drag, and I'm pretty sure I got a good bite on this part, and it just happened to release it. Like, he had just barely nibbled on it. But man, I'm gonna tell you now, he came back for seconds. Well, at this point, I don't know if you can notice, but I can see the tip of the rod just barely getting tugged on. That's that fish nibbling on my bait at the moment. But I didn't want to pull it too early like I did just a second ago because I knew it would have ripped the bait out of his mouth. So I had to be a little bit more patient with the tugging. But sure enough, he took a big gulp of it. Alright, so you guys are about to see some more action, but I just skipped ahead a little bit farther just because I didn't realize it was that much further in the clip. Now before this fish comes up, I do want to say that this is a jigging fishing rod, and jigging fishing rods are really stiff, so if that rod is bending over that much, it's a pretty big fish. But I've got a 100-pound test line braid on there, so I was confident in my knots and my fishing line.
I got a grouper! Oh, 1 second. Not as big as I wanted it to be, but oh yeah, nice. Woo! Yes, sir. I'm gonna let the line out. Oh.
Now I hate to say it, but when you go for these game fish like grouper, king mackerel, and stuff like that, this is what it looks like most of the time. It's just a whole lot of waiting. But I mean, I could have went for vermilion snapper or triggerfish. Those are biting like back to back. Like the second the line hits the bottom, you're already having fish on the line. But this is how it is with the bigger game fish, and I was more focused on the game fish because I can catch the smaller fish quicker. Now what sucked was after this clip, I caught a bonito tuna, but I forgot to record it.
Man, I just nailed a bonito. Forgot to record it. We have to cut the line though. I'll make sure I get the next one. All right, we're gonna try this. I built this rod myself. This will be the first time it gets in the water.
So as you heard me say in the last clip, we had to cut the line. But the reason why we cut the line is because when we brought that bonito on the boat, it actually swallowed the whole rig whole. It was a king mackerel rig with treble hooks on it. I was like, there was no way I'm gonna spend the time to cut this fish open to get the rig out because I knew I had more rigs in the bag. But shortly after this clip, I was testing out my new custom built fish rod. This is the first time I'm actually catching fish on it. Sadly, I didn't get a bunch of videos on it. I actually didn't even get a fish on this clip. But we're gonna go ahead and skip on to the next part. And what happened in the next part was, as I was tossing this line back in the water to catch some more vermilion snappers, the bobber of my drift line went down. Now, like I said, as I was tossing the line in the water, I just happened to look out in the ocean and just saw my bobber go right under the water. Picked up the rod and I started recording as soon as I could because I was not going to miss this clip like I did with that tuna.
I watched that bobber go up and down and I was like, oh, I got another one.
So unfortunately, this was the very last clip that I have of me fishing, but I do have a few more clips of the day. It was like 1 or 2 more clips after this, but I'm going to make it up to you guys coming this following week. Actually in a few more days. In a few more days, I'm heading right back out there. I'm going to do the same exact fishing. We're going to cover a lot more along with the different types of rigs I use to catch the different types of fish I was catching.
Oh. Oh.
Oh, look at that.
Over and under her.
Okay.
I saw your thing. I think you got a tuna. I saw something really big.
Her scan, right there, she got scan.
Oh.
Now what you're about to see is something you would never do unless you're the actual crewmate because they actually know what they're doing. But as you can see, there's a grouper in the water. I'm actually snagged up to it. What he does is he actually grabs it and gets the line untangled from it, but the fish is still on there and he somehow managed to untangle it again. But man, that was a lucky toss that he did because if both of our lines were rubbing together, one of our lines were going to snap eventually.
Is that a king marlin?
Come on. Woo. Oh, 3 big fish in one day.
Did you catch all 3 of them?
Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, you definitely won. Is that a barracuda? That's not a barracuda.
I was gonna say, watch yourself, guys. He's got really big teeth and he's got treble hooks.
So moving on to the end of the day, this is what half the boat ended up with. The other half was at the front of the boat. But man, everyone went home with dinner this day. So again, I didn't end up with as much footage as I want, but I'm headed out again this weekend. I'm gonna have a lot more. But until then, just check out this drone footage of the boat.